Nerd Takes.
Nerd Takes.
I'm Justin.
And I'm John.
And I'm Andrew.
We are here to talk about the Elijah Craig Barrel Proof Batch C924. We all know this is one that we, as a podcast, really enjoy, at least the Barrel Proof for Elijah Craig. I don't think we're in the minority. I think most people enjoy what they're doing.
Yeah.
This is the most recent release by Heaven Hill. Real quick, this is what all the other batches essentially say, but just to make sure that if this is the first video you're watching, you know what we're talking about. Uncut, straight from the barrel, and without chill filtering, the nose, taste, and finish are preserved in their simplest form. If you haven't been able to tell, this is from their website. At full barrel proof, you can enjoy Elijah Craig much the same way our master distillers do when they sample straight from the barrel in our Kentucky rickhouses. Elijah Craig Barrel Proof is a bold and honest expression of what charred oak barrel aging can do for bourbon from the man who originated the process.
Nice.
Well said.
Well said.
So, according to Breaking Bourbon, this is well. First of all, this is its third batch. This is not according to Breaking Bourbon, but this is the third batch release for the year. So again, third batch,
9
September 24 year that's being released.
Yep.
It has a 11 years and 0 months statement, which we were laughing.
We were laughing about that. Why?
It literally says 0 months.
It says 0 months right there.
Seems interesting to put that. It also, now looking at though at A124 and B524, it falls in between the two as far as how long this is being aged. So A124 was 10 years 2 months, and B524 was 11 years and 2 months.
Yeah.
So kind of in the middle there. However, it's important to note the age statement represents the youngest barrels in the blend, which means there could also be way older barrels.
And there probably are.
And just the way math works, the answer is yes, there are way older.
There are older barrels. Just a question of how
That's how that works.
It's a question of how old, right? And how young. This was released again September of this year. Proof is 129, also on the dot. No additional points or months.
Oh, but there's a 0.0 on the label.
There's 0.0 on the label. Mash bill, 78% corn, 12% malted barley, and 10% rye. This is an MSRP of $75. The color, according to their website, is copper. Now, I've tried to... I copied and pasted this. So I'm trying to not read the notes as far as what the palate and the nose
so
and
we're
the
all
taste
fresh
might be,
on it,
so I can try and play as well. But
yeah, I like it.
Eventually I have to cheat. So
That's fine.
Nose. What are we getting for the nose?
So I got some sweetness right off the bat. Got really deep in there, and it took me a while to actually get the burn. So there's not a lot of that ethanol on there. So impressive for something that's 11 years old and 129 proof to not really sting your nostrils. One, right out of the gate, and two, it took a lot to get to that point.
So I actually I'll counter that by saying I did get the alcohol right off the bat. I did also get some orange peel and maybe some chocolate. So yeah, a little bit funky on there.
Yeah. I got vanilla, and then you say orange. I feel like I get orange all the time every time I smell something, or nose a bourbon. But yeah, definitely vanilla.
Yeah.
Okay.
And cherries.
And what?
And
I didn't get cherries this time.
I know. No, there was no cherries on
weird.
this one. No. There are no cherries on this one.
And now that I know what leather smells like, I like to throw leather in there occasionally.
Leather?
If I don't know what it smells like, I'm like, that must be leather.
That must be. It's got to be leather.
I didn't get leather this time.
No.
What I did get, what they say, caramel with toasted oak, fruit
Okay.
notes of apple and orange.
All right.
Okay. All right.
Where do you go on the orange?
We were on.
That's delicious.
What about the taste? So I kind of already jumped in there, but Lambert, you want to go first?
So I definitely got some oak. This one's it's not overpowering, but it's there. You got it. Again, we're all wearing the same clothes, so the Heaven Hill 18 year, this is, it lets you know it's there. Whereas with that one, it was a little bit more subtle, and this one just kind of punches you in the face in a good way.
I do like the spiciness of it. I think that the flavors are, they're front and center. I can't imagine this is going to stick around as long as something that's aged for, over 15 years or whatever. I mean, 11 years is a pretty good amount of time, but it's like a full body warmth or full mouth warmth. Yep. Starts the tongue, kind of goes away, but now it's definitely near the back of my tongue for sure. It's just warm, just very, very warm. Yep. And as far as tastes are concerned, It's not especially sweet. I'm gonna go back in here after adding some water, but it's not especially sweet. But there definitely is some caramel and oak. And again, that's 11 years, I think. I actually do get a little bit of cherry now that I'm tasting it. What do you think, Andrew?
Yeah, no. So I think without adding a little bit of water, you can definitely taste that it's 129.0 proof. But I get some of the oak. I got. I mean, a little bit of sweetness, not a ton. It's not the most sweet, I think, expression that we've tried.
No.
And then there's definitely some spice in there, whether it's cinnamon or allspice or something. But there's or pepper. I can't quite put my finger on it, but there's definitely some spice.
Yeah, I think there's pepper, and I think that there is some baking spices, but there's also, and maybe cinnamon's what it is, because there also is a little bit of like sweetness with that. Like I don't know if it's almonds or if it's like kind of tastes like one of those not breakfast, but like one of those crumble cakes.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I just got this last sip some of that like pastry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know where that came from. I was like, all of a sudden I was like, it tastes like one of those caramel crumble cakes that my mom used to get me when I was like growing up, like the what I mean, like the ones that look like shaped in like a tire.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Okay.
I think we're talking about a breakfast bourbon.
We might be.
Oh, there we go. There's nothing wrong with that.
Well, I guess so.
So the finish on this one is pretty insane. Where it was a roller coaster because I thought like it was going away, and then it just ramped back up and came back. Yeah. And then it starts to slowly fade away. So like obviously like roller coaster for sure. I mean, it's just, and that's when you mentioned pepper. I definitely got pepper when it came back, but it's still going. It's pretty crazy because again, you thought it was gone and then it just ramps back up.
I think this is great.
I really love this bourbon.
I mean, we'll rate in a second, but this year there have been some bangers this year. Like,
oh yeah.
I think they're stepping it up because for a long time, a lot of their releases were looking at, I think they had 7 years, 8 years, 9, and now they're all
ever since the C923, which was almost 14 years old.
Yeah, for sure. Now they're looking at like 14, 11, 10. I think that's going to be perhaps the pattern. I mean, I know that it changes every year because we've had some years where they've been a lot younger, but also pretty flavorful. But what you get from the long age barrel with this one is the much more full body taste or full mouth taste, but also like the finish is phenomenal.
Crazy.
Really good finish.
Crazy finish.
Sywell, what are your thoughts on this one?
This is bourbon flavored bourbon, and I like it. I wrote down. I'm glad I wrote down cinnamon right off the bat. I'm like, am I crazy? But I felt like cinnamon was in here. And then Justin, when you were describing like a breakfast pastry, and Andrew, when you're like, this is a breakfast bourbon, that resonates because I'm like, yeah, there's a doughy that I don't know how to describe that, but it is something from a baking perspective that's there. I love the heat. I know you guys have been drinking it for, because of but if you just wait a solid 2 minutes in between a sip, it will come back a third time.
Jesus.
It just keeps coming back. Awesome. I'm like licking my lips over here like, nope, there it is again.
Yep.
Yeah. So it just keeps coming back.
Yeah, it's
delicious.
It's pretty wild. Yeah.
Even with the water, it's still
really
it doesn't diminish the finish at all because I put some water at it and it just sits right here.
Well, so with the nose, we got a lot of these right. I'm sorry, with the palate, we got a lot of these right. Rich vanilla, caramel, butterscotch, along with spices of black pepper and cinnamon. At the back of the palate.
All right. Yep.
And the finish, nicely layered,
No.
showcasing all flavors, fades slowly, then lingers as it cools.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about that. Maybe it's like you were talking about like baked goods, and maybe it's a cinnamon roll. Could that be?
Could be. I mean, I'm getting more sort of flaked. Like there's a image in my head that I can't.
It's like toffee.
A
It's
puff
like
pastry.
nutty. Puff pastry.
It's a croissant.
A croissant.
No, but I mean, but definitely like that sort of toasted pastry, baked something or other.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing with my hands there, but yeah, there's definitely something kind of bready about it.
What do I do with my hands?
I don't know what to do with my hands. What do I do with my hands right now?
You go first, Lambert. What's your review?
This is interesting
A rating.
because again, it's not as sweet as some of the previous releases that we've, and even like throw this aside, like Heaven Hill in general. Like it's definitely just kind of like a little more robust, but it's, to quote our producer, it is bourbon flavored bourbon, and it knows what it is, and it does it well. Damn it, Stormtrooper.
That's good. Good review.
It's a solid. I mean, I'm probably biased because we love all the Elijah Craig barrel proofs equally.
No, I think this is actually a pretty great offering.
But
Andrew.
it's a solid offering.
It's a great bourbon. I'll say 8.5. This is a delicious. I mean, the first thing I
New
thought,
Hope, Luke.
is that New Hope.
That's New Hope, Luke.
Okay, thank you.
That's New Hope.
I'm still learning the half notes.
Yeah.
We are too.
But I know my first thought when I took a sip was, this is fucking delicious. It's a great bourbon, and for the money, I'd say it's definitely worth a buy. And I got nothing else.
Yep.
So I pulled into the Randalls on the way here, and they had a handful of these on the shelf, and I was like, yeah, maybe I'll get one. I bought a Larceny instead, just because it's the first new label, and now I have two. I'm gonna go home or grab one of these on the way home, because I think this is freaking pretty damn good. And I'm gonna go with
damn good.
what you said, New Hope, and that's pretty high ranking for me right now.
That's
I
high
think.
praise.
Yeah, I mean, this is a amazing way to wrap the year up with all their batches, and I don't know, I'm just impressed. Like, it's got a great flavor notes, and then I think that the finish is what really is the most like shocking. Shocking is not the right word, but like what stands out the most to like this particular batch.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Totally.
Producer Justin,
I'm straight up 9.
Oh,
Nice.
I almost said
Bold.
that too, man.
Yeah,
I'd love it.
I'm a
bold.
straight up 9. I think this is bourbon flavored bourbon. It is relatively a simple flavor profile, but it's perfect in terms of.
Because if you smoke cigars,
Yeah,
Oh,
this is the
this is the-
perfect
this is the
bourbon
100%.
to smoke cigars with. I will tell you that
Yeah,
much right now.
I will-
I think that marriage is perfect.
I
do
will
not smoke cigars.
echo that. One, absolutely.
Earlier Justin asked us off camera what we were doing after recording today, and I think we just answered it. I know what I'm doing anyway.
I
Grab
know
a
what you're
cigar,
doing.
grab a bottle of this, and that's my night.
Yep.
I'm solo. You need company?
Yeah. Come on over. You're already over.
You're already here. And you don't have anything to
Stick
do.
around. I got nothing. You can drive my car home. I'll Uber.
ordering Thai food.
Yeah.
Well, ECBP C924. I think worth the purchase.
Go check it out.
Absolutely. I mean, honestly, any of the barrel proofs from this year, they've been phenomenal. So if you're watching this, in a couple of months, and you can get your hands on a 2024 barrel proof, fucking get it. They're all awesome.
Absolutely.
Definitely. All right. Nerd takes.
Nerd takes.
There it takes.
Bye bye.